I want to talk about food. Something massive happened to me last week. I'm no longer allowed to eat Shreddies. yeah, I'm gluten intolerant. I wasn't that pleased. I had a test, and this German doctor, she said, "What you eat in the morning?" Apparently she was a Chinese lady from Germany. So, "What you eat in the morning?" And I said, "Shreddies." And she hit me with a question I never thought I'd be asked. She looked at me and went, "What are Shreddies?" I was like, "I don't know. They're knitted by grannies." They keep them hunger locked up till lunchtime. But she was like, "Do they contain wheat?" I was like, "I don't think so." And then she looked at me and went, "You must never eat them again." And I sulked. I genuinely sulked. I was like, "I'm not allowed to eat Shreddies. It's not fair." And then later that day, after I was wandering around and complaining about Shreddies, I read this article, which made me feel like a piece of shit. More than 8 million people in Britain live in households that struggle to put enough food on the table. I'm bitching about Shreddies when the level of food poverty in this country is crippling, particularly with kids. In the UK, for every class of 30 kids, 9 of them live in poverty. As many as 3 million children are going back to school after the holidays hungry. Like, it's heartbreaking, isn't it? It makes you want to go to a school with a load of food. And then I thought about it, I was like... it's gonna look dodgy, innit? Do you want a sandwich? I mean, that is gonna be misunderstood, isn't it? That will be on the front page of The Sun. Russell Howard tries to get kid in van. You're like, no! No! But it genuinely crushed me. And you know the worst thing? We have starving kids and we're throwing away food. 17 billion pounds of food and drink is wasted every year in the UK. And some of the reasons why are ridiculous. Mountains of strawberries and lettuces are left to rot in fields because supermarkets say they're too ugly to sell. Who complains about ugly veg? You're gonna eat it, not fuck it. Like... Nobody's ever... How's your salad, sir? Utterly minging. I wouldn't fuck. Why don't we give... Like, the thing that kills me is you read stuff like that and you're like, why don't we give this food to the kids? Like, but it's wonky, so? We don't get rid of wonky people. If we did, I wouldn't be on telly. And we wouldn't have a Prime Minister. Or, for that matter, we wouldn't have a Leader of the Opposition. But MPs don't have to worry about food, because while some kids are starving, we give in Parliament 3.7 million for food and drink. How about you paying for your own lunch, like nurses do, like firemen do, like other public servants do, you cheeky shit? And do you know the worst thing? They're not even grateful. MPs complain about free House of Commons dinners. We buy for them. Mini tantrums were thrown about porridge. Tantrums! Your MP's not Goldilocks. This free porridge is too lumpy. This free porridge is too wet. If they're acting like Goldilocks, I say release the bears. Release the bears. Something has to change. Austerity is crippling families, and children aren't just going without food. Some British girls are missing school because they can't afford tampons. Again. It makes you want to go to a school. It gets worse. Some girls in the UK are using socks because they can't afford tampons. How is this happening? We pay millions to keep the royal family going. I don't see Kate Middleton going, "Wills, I've got the painters in, give us your polo sock." Yeah. Is that a bit much? Is that a bit much? Or is it a bit much that the government could pay for it? In fact, since the beginning of austerity, whilst child poverty has been rising, the government has bought over 100 new paintings and sculptures for their art collection. There's hungry kids, DIY tampons, and we're buying modern art. And you know the worst thing? Of all the art we own, only 3% of it is on display. Not only is it mad, they're not even letting us look at it. You're MPs, not picture squirrels. Just hide it from the voters, hide it from the voters. It's a joke. If politicians aren't going to do anything, then we're going to have to fix it ourselves. If you've got some spare food, take it to your local food bank. If you're a school, organise a place where people can donate tampons. If you're a restaurant that doesn't donate surplus food, give it to a charity. Give it to the homeless. If you're an MP, pay for your own fucking porridge. And this is the biggest one, Britain. If you see me hanging around a school, I am not a bad guy. I am not a bad guy!
The big story of the week was this.
MPs reject a Labour call for free school meals to be extended through the holidays for children in England.
The footballer Marcus Rashford, who's campaigned on the issue, says he will continue to press the government to change its mind and offer free meals during school holidays.
It's so insensitive about the issue, and they've definitely not been through it themselves.
Damn right. It's an absolute disgrace. Our government voted to keep vulnerable children in this state.
We try not to eat a lot in one day. Even though most of us are really hungry, we have to be careful with our food.
It's horrific. Boris spent all summer using three-word slogans. Stay at home, go back out, hand space, space. Here's a three-word slogan for you, you heartless fuckwit. Feed the kids. Exactly. This tweet put it best. If the government can subsidise Eat Out to Help Out, not being seen to give poor kids lunch in the school holidays looks mean and is wrong. Exactly. And do you know who wrote that? Nigel Farage. Even he disagrees with them. Who else is against it? Voldemort? Joffrey? The ghost of Jimmy Savile? If Nigel Farage is making you look like the bad guy, then you fucked up. Last year, people were throwing milkshakes at him. If Boris goes out, he's going to get hit by a cow. Why did they vote against paying for kids' meals? We do it for MPs. Taxpayers stumped up 57 grand a week to subsidise food and drink for politicians. That's 2.9 million a year. And here's the kicker, they bitch about it. They complained about undercooked bacon, eggs taking too long to fry, and soggy jam roly-polies. Some kids are starving and they're like, my pudding's too squidgy. I'll tell you why it's soggy. If I was a chef making food for MPs, I'd be adding some of my special sauce as well. Jizz. They're like just, I'm so sorry. They're like children, and the fact, because I've got a lazy eye, two of you are going, did he say to us? They're like children. Look at the reason. Tory peer Nicky Morgan reckons the government voted against feeding kids.
Well, I think the Labour Party might have found they got more supporters yesterday if the Deputy Labour leader hadn't called one of the Conservative MPs scum.
I can't believe they called us scum. I can. Christ, most people would have reacted like this lady.
Oh, shut up, you cunt!
When the Tories hit the streets, they're going to need fucking earmuffs. They voted against it because they were called a name. Can you imagine if Churchill had done that? Shall we fight them on the beaches? No. Hitler called me a willy head. And let's not forget, Churchill was a man who looked like a jam roly-poly. Why couldn't they find the money to fund this? It's nothing compared to what they've reportedly wasted this year. They spent 150 million buying unusable masks, 10 billion on a bungled test and trace system, and 16 million on COVID tests that didn't even work. Christ, during a pandemic, Boris Johnson's plane was rebranded at a cost of £900,000. They spent nearly £1 million painting a plane. A plane that, because of COVID, can't fucking go anywhere! It's just... Where is the logic? It's like a man in a coma getting a back sack and crack. You're not having it, Grandad. If he wants it painted, people would do it for free. How they spend our money is outrageous. I mean, how can our government justify this? The Cabinet Office is searching for a 60 grand a year photographer to help boost the government's image. 60 grand! You pay someone £1 million, Boris will always look like he's just woken up in a skip. Politicians aren't photogenic. The slightest thing can affect them, whether it's a football, a mic, or constipation. People don't care how you look, they care what you do. If you want a photo that boosts your image, here's one. Marcus Rashford at a food bank working for free. That is what a leader looks like. His actions have galvanised the nation.
Dozens of cafes, pubs and restaurants, as well as several local councils, have stepped in to offer free school meals for children in England during half-term.
This is what it's all about, is helping each other.
It is very disheartening and, we makes you realise how much we take life for granted.
Fresh fruit, we've got drinks, snacks.
If it costs us a week's wages, we're quite happy to do it.
Spend some money and feed some children. It's as simple as that.
Never forget, when the government saved their quids, the people fed the kids. It feels like we're bereft of leadership, doesn't it? I mean, Christ, a lot of people wanted this lady to be Prime Minister.
I'm 83. I don't give a sod. I look at it this way. I've not got all that many years left of me, and I'm not going to be fastened in a house when the government have got it all wrong. We need... How can we get the country on its feet? Money-wise, where's all the money? By the end of this year, there's going to be millions of people unemployed, and you know who's going to pay for it? All the young ones. Not me, because I'm going to be dead.
They'll be in the red, I'll be fucking dead.